The command cracked through the air like a whip. Sharp, unfamiliar syllables rolled across the marble hall, carrying an authority that cut straight through the murmur of conversation. Soldiers froze mid-step. Journalists lowered their pens, brows knitting in puzzlement. No one moved, no one except her. Lena, the quiet cleaner in her mid-20s, wearing a plain gray uniform with the sleeves rolled to her elbows, stopped dead. She'd been pushing her mop toward the far wall, lost in the steady rhythm of her work, when those words sliced through the noise. It was a call she never thought she'd hear again. Her grip tightened around the handle until her knuckles whitened. The general's eyes swept the room until they found her. The air between them seemed to hum. Lena had worn a uniform once as well. Not long ago, barely out of her teens, she'd served as a field medic in a conflict that never made the British press. She remembered the reek of antiseptic tangled with dust, the thud of boots on dirt tracks, the desperate voices shouting her name. And those exact words, barked in that exact tone, had once been the emergency rally command. The order to gather the wounded, brace for impact, and hold the line at any cost. She had believed the man who gave that order was lost years ago. She had believed her war was over. She had been wrong. A ripple of murmurs passed through the hall. "What language is that?" someone whispered. The general didn't answer them. He simply waited, still as a statue, as if the weight of the entire hall sat comfortably on his shoulders. Her feet moved before her mind caught up. Step by step, Lena crossed the marble floor, the echoes of her past marching alongside her. In her mind, she saw flashes, hauling a bleeding soldier over her back, knees buckling under the weight, stitching wounds by torchlight, the suffocating silence after the final gunfire faded. When she reached the front, the general's gaze softened, though his voice remained steady. "Report," he said, in the language only the two of them shared. Without hesitation, she replied. Her voice was clear, though her heart was hammering. She gave her name, her rank, her old unit. The words felt both foreign and utterly familiar. Gasps rippled through the audience. Some leaned forward, sensing they were witnessing something rare. She spoke of the chaos of that night, the scramble to save as many as possible, the screams that still haunted her sleep, and the bitter retreat. She told him how she'd slipped away under fire, crossed miles of open ground to reach safety, traded her medic's satchel for a mop, her combat boots for worn trainers. She never told a soul here who she truly was, until now. The general listened without interrupting, but there was a faint shine in his eyes. Then he stepped away from the podium. The medals on his chest caught the light as he set a firm hand on her shoulder. "You answered the call when no one else could," he said, "and you've done so again today." The young soldiers lining the walls straightened instinctively, sensing the gravity of the moment. Applause began as a polite patter before swelling into a wave that filled the hall. Lena's throat tightened. For years she had faded into the background. Now she stood at the very center, every face turned toward her. Part of her longed to retreat into the safety of anonymity, but the general kept her there, speaking to all present. "Bravery doesn't fade with age," he told them, "and it doesn't need a uniform to be real." In that instant, the years she thought she'd lost returned, not as pain, but as proof that what she had done mattered. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. As the applause softened, Lena returned to her mop. But the marble hall no longer felt cold. And when she glanced over her shoulder, the general was still watching, not as a stranger, but as a fellow soldier whose story had, at last, been heard. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to be reminded that courage has no age limit. And if you'd like more tales like this, subscribe and join our community, where every quiet hero's voice is heard.